Hello friends, it's Greg here again on the Blue Feather Ephemera channel. I have an eBay store by the same name where I sell vintage magazine print advertising. Now, during 2024, I decided to put together some videos to show you what it is that I do, what I sell, how I sell it. We looked at listing, we looked at sales, we looked at store traffic, we looked at pricing, uh, SKUs, and several other things so that hopefully it could inform you about whether or not this is something that you'd want to try in your spare time to make some extra money, or is this the kind of business you might want to set up and run on a part-time or full-time basis. So today we're going to look back at 2024. We're going to go over the numbers. We're going to try to figure out, has it been successful. We'll compare it to 2023, figure out what our trajectory is and where this whole thing's going. So stay tuned. As we get started, it occurs to me that I usually begin the videos making the assumption that you've watched others, that you know what's going on, and you understand what I mean when I talk about vintage magazine print advertising. But just in case, if this is your first ever video on my channel, this is what an eBay store looks like that sells vintage magazine print advertising. And I've established categories in my store. Here's newly listed ads, popular ads, featured items. That's my current sale going on. And then you can look at the items in my store. Now, this is just all items. I'm not taking a category look right here, but as you can see on screen, each one of these is just a page from a magazine, and you can go back, 30 years, 50 years. If you go back more than 100 years, you're selling antique advertising. If you're selling less than 20-year-old advertisements, you shouldn't be calling them vintage. They're just magazine advertisements. But regardless, in any of those categories, you can find magazine ads that people will seek and buy for decor, for the art of it, for history, for nostalgia, all kinds of reasons that people buy these things. But this is what a vintage magazine print advertising store looks like. There's just a couple of things to point out on this screen as we get started. Over here it says that Blue Feather Ephemera joined eBay February the 9th of 2023. I sold in another store, still do, but I got another store, other types of products that I've been doing for about 5 or 6 years, but I started this magazine print advertising February the 9th of 23. So I've just had my second anniversary as a seller of vintage magazine print ads. I started the YouTube channel 1 year ago, so I just had my first year anniversary on the YouTube channel. But the other thing I wanted to point out here is that to date I've sold about 1,400 items, and I'm gratified to say that I have 100% positive feedback. I also have 286 followers. I believe that's partly because of work that I do to reach out to customers and try to get repeat business in the store. Part of that also may be due to the YouTube channel. Next, we're going to go back to my eBay store. So I'll follow the shop link here, and we'll get back there because I want to show you next what is up for sale in the store. And it's important to know this about selling this type of well, let me rephrase that. It's important to know this about the way that I sell this kind of product, because I'm sure not everybody does it the same. There may be some sellers in this category out there who will seek out the most amazing examples of advertising, and they won't put it up for sale unless they can sell it quickly for $100, $150, $250, whatever. I'm still looking for those ads. But what I put up for sale is typically in the price range of about $8 up to $25. There are exceptions. But anyway, the main thing here is that I believe it's important to list as many items as I can list. It's not about sell-through rate. It's about having the merchandise there for the shoppers to find. I'm not going to sell, you know, 80 items a month and have 100 in the store. I'm going to sell 40 items a month and have 12,575 in the store. That's the current number of print ads that I have up for sale. As we take a look at a few of the listings in my store, we'll think about that just a little bit more. That's 12 months, 6,000 ads, and over 52 weeks, that works out to 115 ads listed per week. And so that means that if I spend 10 hours a week listing, then I need to list 12 ads per hour. That's an ad every 5 minutes. That's easily doable. I can list an ad in 3 minutes. I don't usually, because not only am I susceptible to distractions, but I'm actually habitually distracted. That works for me though, because where I'm retired, my schedule's flexible, and it's just the kind of the perfect fit. Here's something else that's probably going to look completely foreign to most eBay sellers, and this is the traffic that has visited my eBay store during the month of February of this year, February 2025. So for total impressions, 4,591,000, and that is a lot of impressions, no doubt. 1,729,000 were organic impressions through search results, and the others came from promoted listings, 2,862,000. Now, this is the foreign part. The click-through rate, 0.2%, and the sales conversion rate of 0.6%, 0.6% is the sales conversion rate. Mine consistently stays, and for the past year has stayed anywhere between 0.5% and I think at the most 0.8%, and that's numbers that would be unsustainable in the traditional eBay store, because most sellers, especially sellers of traditional products, whether it's clothing or home goods or things like that, all of that stock takes space, and they have a limited amount of space. They need to move products through the store, both for profit and also for storage. But all of these advertisements here, the 12,575 advertisements that I have listed, fit into a storage space that's roughly about 10 cubic feet. So that's why you can just list ads, store them, and keep listing and listing. During the first year of this YouTube channel, at the end of every week, all 50 of my first videos that I made showed weekly sales, sales reviews, and highlights and store totals of the amounts of gross sales that I had in every week of 2024. I've not done that this year. We just needed to change things up a little bit. That was a little bit labor intensive, and plus I wanted a fresh format. So we've done things a little bit different this year. Also last year, I did present a couple of times. I presented store sales in a quarterly period, and I've not done this yet. What I've got on the screen right now is February 25 in comparison with February of 24. It's a good month to make that comparison because it's exactly 28 days. And so you can see what this 28-day period was in gross sales, 1,584. That's almost $400 a week in gross sales. I'm excited about that, and if you followed the channel for any period of time at all, you might recall that during the summer of last year, there was some months when I didn't top $100 of gross sales. I might have 10 ads sold for a total of $95. It's been a lot better through the fourth quarter, and so far, the first quarter of 2025 is looking great. But 1,584 is the gross sales. That includes postage paid by the customer, and it also includes taxes paid by the customer. Now, Taxes come out of my profit, and so does the money that eBay sends to the various states for the tax obligation. That is included in selling costs along with eBay fees and the promotional fees that they charge as well. But my net sales for the month of February of 25, $832.98. There's still a little money that comes out of that for shipping supplies. That includes the labels, the stay flat mailers, the backing boards, and the sleeves. I've covered that in a video, and I'll put a link to that video at the top of this page. What's on screen right now is the whole reason for this bonus topic video. This is the recap of all sales from 2024. And the numbers here reflect gross sales from January the 1st of 24 up through December the 31st. And the percentage number that's underneath the dollar figures, that represents the growth over and above the 2023 sales numbers. So for total sales, the gross income, that includes shipping fees collected from the customer, taxes collected from the customer, and the price they paid for the item, $16,662. There's a lot of eBay sellers that make a lot more money. I'm not crowing about that being a huge amount of money. It's a good amount of money for me, and there's two reasons I say that. I'll get to that in just a minute. But it's 191% growth over 2023. Now, this type of business, because you're listing one ad at a time, one after another, and these are long tail items, this is a type of business that's not really scalable. It's not going to be a great benefit to work up to hiring other employees that are going to be helping you with listing and shipping and anything else, in my opinion. Now, there may be sellers that do that, and I'm not saying anything against it. It's not the type of way that I want to approach this. And I'll also remind you that I always say that my videos are never instructional. They're just informative. I'm just showing you what I do. And in my opinion, according to my business model, I don't really consider this scalable. It is growable, and I intend to grow it, and that's why I think the numbers are good. $16,662 is a good number considering I've been at this 2 years, and it's also a good number considering that it's almost double what it was last year. I doubled the number of listings. I doubled the amount of sales. Now, will I double again the listings that I have up for sale in my store? No, I'm not going to list 12,000 ads during the coming year to double the 12,000 that I already have. But do I hope to add another 6,000 listings? I sure do. And so that means that the growth may not be 200%. It may not be 100%. I hope it's at least 50% though, because I'll have 50% more ads listed at the end of 2025. Now, taxes and fees that come out of the gross sales, $1,167. That's kept by eBay, paid out to the states. I never see it, but that number is included in selling costs along with the shipping charges that I pay, and also along with eBay fees and eBay promotion costs. Now, what's not included in the selling cost number is over there in net sales. That's what eBay calls net, but that's not really true net from my position, because I make a daily trip to the post office. I don't have home mail service, and so I've got a little bit of transportation costs. And also included in that is my shipping supplies, the stay flat mailers, backing boards, sleeves, and mail labels, and also the cost of the ads themselves, which overall you could consider almost negligible when you drill down to the price per ad that you pay. Now, I pay good money for some magazines, and I always consider that each ad costs me $2 until I get to a point where I've sold, a half dozen or a dozen ads out of the magazine. But with all of that said, I still, my actual net profit from doing this is more in the ballpark of about $6,000 during this past year. Now, that's $500 a month, and that works out to about altogether, including listing and packing and shipping, ordering supplies, maintaining the store, doing end and sell similar, updating my sales, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's a pretty good income for about 15 hours a week that I spend doing this. And so that's what the store numbers look like. Now, I had 709 total buyers in the year. One-time buyers 656. That means I had about 50 repeat customers. That's another number that I hope will grow during the coming year. And so there's all kinds of good information available in these store reports when you get in there and fish around. But because people have been following my channel, they've been seeing what I do, watching what this looks like. I hope you'll find encouragement to get in there and try this for yourself, because not only can you make a profit at it, but it's doggone fun. That's this bonus topic. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you'll come back and join me when we take another look at some What Sold content coming up soon. Bye for now.